Hello friends, in this video we will try to discuss one of the Scala concept called exception handling. So we will try to discuss what is exception handling and then we will try to see one or two examples to understand better. So the exception handling is whenever there is an unwanted or unexpected events has occurred during the flow of the execution. In order to handle those, we are going to apply try catch block. Okay, so we will try to see into practical whether it is file not found exception or whether it is an arithmetic an exception. So we will try to see an example to understand better that. So right now we are in IntelliJ IDEA. So let's create some exception object. So first of all, let's try to create a main method, main args array of string. Okay, we created the main method. Now we would like to create an try block where our main piece of code exists. So source dot, let's say, from file. So I would like to read some file, let's say file.txt. Okay, dot for each, let's say first of all we will try to create some sample txt file. Let's say file.txt. So let's try to assume there are two columns which had this, let's say id 10, name let's say Bala, id 20, let's say Krishna, id 30, let's say Rama. So we do have three columns. Let's try to save this. Let's close it. So let's try to import the necessary libraries which requires for our operation. Scala.io.source. Okay, and then let's try to import java.io. Let's say IO exception. Let's try to import java.io. File not found exception. Okay, now source dot, let's say from file. Now we would like to apply file.txt which we created, dot for each. Now let's try to print it, and then now let's apply the catch block. So case ex, let's say file not found exception, and within it let's try to print the message missing file exception. Okay, so if we want to keep it, let's try to keep it x. So we are trying to read txt file here. Okay, and then we are printing. If not, then it will come to the exception if it is not exist. Let's try to run this program. See, though the file exists, it was printing the details of that file content. Let's say for example try to put file1.txt. Now let's try to run this. See, file not found exception has been occurred, file1.txt, because we don't have file1.txt. That's where basically it's executed the catch block, rather try block. Okay, so this is one example for the file not found exception. Now we will try to see another example for arithmetic exception. Okay, now we will try to see it. Let's try to take the details from here. Let's say val c equal to 10 by 2, and now let's try to print println c. Okay, else under catch block, if that is not satisfied, let's take off this. Under catch block, let's say case IO exception, let's say IO exception occurred, less I, and then let's close this, or else already is there. Now let's take another case. This is arithmetic exception, let's say println arithmetic exception occurred. Let's try to print A. So what we are trying to do here in the main block, try block, we are doing 10 divided by 2, and the result we are printing under C. And else, if this is not valid, then it will try to check the catch block, and then it will try to print the appropriate exception. Now let's try to run this. See, it is printed. 10 divided by 2 is 5. And for example, let's say I want to keep 0. Now let's try to see what it is going to happen. See, it is throwing an error. 10 should not be divided by 0, right? Arithmetic exception. Arithmetic exception is divided by 0. Okay, that cannot able to divide. That's where basically this is falls under arithmetic exception. So this is how we are going to, using the try block, we are handling the exceptions. Rather, in order to get the interruptions for the runtime environment, we are going to handle using try and catch block. That's all for today's guys. If you really like it, please do subscribe, like it and share it, and please do the comment.